Welcome back to the Lynn Miller Room here at the AAC on the Morehead State campus. We wrap things up this week on the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. We'll talk a little women's golf with Stephanie Barker. And, Coach, how's things been? I know that been a pretty successful fall. You got, I think since the last time we talked, we got a championship in one of the tournaments.
We did, yes. We went down to Western Carolina and played one of our for 36 holes and walked away with a trophy.
A lot of teams, a lot of good teams. I remember, going over the tournament field with you before you left, and the fact that they were going to be some real fine programs at that tournament.
Yes, well, Western Carolina is a very good team, and when they're on their home turf, you expect them to play well. And then a lot of real scrappy teams like ourselves, which anyone could play well.
What kind of course was it, and did it fit your young ladies very well?
Well, we're pretty long as a team, so we took advantage of the course. It's not overly long, which set up well for us because we had a lot of wedges, 9 irons, 8 irons into greens. We hit some of the par 5s in 2, which that really doesn't happen quite as often as you would hope for in college golf. So I think my team just had a lot of fun. A few of my players were chipping in for eagle. Linnea, I think, had 2 or 3 chip-ins for birdies and eagles, and everyone was having a great time.
Of course, 2 out of the 3 tournaments this year, this fall, you won your match against Eastern. You won the tournament at the Great Smoky Mountains, and of course you got another tournament at UNC Greensboro. And there were a lot of good teams in that as well.
Yeah, we knew going into Greensboro that we would be playing teams that were top 25, top 30 in the country. So your top 5 teams in that tournament, I think, were ranked like 24th, 25th, 40th, 60th. So a top 5 there for us would have been, that was our goal, and that would have felt pretty close to a win against teams like that. So coming away with an 8th place finish, you just had the feeling that, we played strong, could have been better, could have been worse, have some things to work on, and just move on from there.
You mentioned always having things to work on as a coach. That's what I guess is so good about getting back out there and practicing, the fact that these young ladies want to improve, as much as they can in the fall before they go in the little break.
I think it's similar to what Coach Ballard was saying. Regardless of the outcome, there's always small things that you can work on, and it's the details. It's the small things that we do every day that end up adding up. And for us, it's just improving something about our short game, improving some focus, improving certain decisions that we make on the course. All those little things add up, and those are all within your control.
Let's talk individually. Who's having a good fall?
Well, Marissa Camelgarten is having a good fall, very solid so far. I think she just was named OVC Player of the Week again for the 10th time. Yes.
The 10th time, and that's a record. And, you talk about this young lady, the fact that, she's come here to play her golf and then to be Player of the Week 10 times. That's, you think about having 10 good weeks. I wish I'd have like 10 good holes, but she's had some outstanding times here at Morehead State.
She has. She's very highly talented, and to top it off, she's also applying to medical school, so she's a great student. She's really the complete student athlete. And then from there, we've had some great finishes from our newcomers. Obviously, Linnea Sholin winning down in Western Carolina as a co-medalist, shooting a 67 her second round. That's having a great fall, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's turned in quite a few real solid rounds. Just one of those players that when you watch her is just wow. She's just really athletic. She has a lot going for her. From there, Anna Appert-Lund, she's been right there. The first tournament came in second. I think her second tournament, she either came in second or third again. And so having top 3, top 5 finishes is great. Another couple solid rounds down in Greensboro as well. Really impressed with Katie Rice so far. She's turned in some good scores, played solid down in Greensboro. And then Amalie Monk, our junior from Denmark, she's had quite a few real solid rounds. And, and I could just go on and on. I mean, Hannah Sublett, she's had some great rounds. And then we have a few players that haven't really had the opportunity to travel, but we're going to take everyone down to Austin Peay. So that'll be exciting. So the entire team is going to get to play this next week.
Yeah, and that's always good too. I mean, they work hard, they practice hard, and when you can take your whole team and not just have to take your top players, that probably gives them a little chance to work a little harder to try to impress you and try to get their scores up.
Well, it gives you a reason to practice, and when you have a tournament coming up, and everyone on the team is contributing, they all have certain roles that they have on the team. They're all working hard. This is a great group of individuals, so we're just in a position this semester that we can happen to reward everyone and bring them to this tournament and say, hey, you've been working hard, you're great kids, we appreciate you, let's go have fun in a big team bonding type of an event and see what we can do.
No, you have, Marissa, the only senior on this team. How good is it to have a senior, as we talked about, 10 Player of the Week awards and all these accolades, to have her mixing with the younger kids that you have?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, we were talking the other day, and it was just like, she's setting the bar really high. She's setting some records, and the young ones can look at that and be like, hey, I want to be like that or even better. So she's going to leave her mark. She's obviously already left her mark, and I'm sure several of her records will be in place for quite some time. But then, in respect, that gives everyone something to shoot for.
I know the fact that when she came out of New York, highly touted golfer, and sometimes they don't live up to that. But I think she has, and she's helped you build your program. Where I think now that the fact that when you go to New York, they know, or her area, they know her, and that could open some doors down the road.
Oh, definitely. And our school already has a good reputation in New York. I think Phil Sims helped us out in that respect.
Yeah.
Yes, and definitely she's studying biology and wants to be in pre-med. So once you do your research, you know that we offer good opportunities in that program here. But yeah, she's a nationally ranked player. I mean, every year she's right around that top 150 mark in the country, and you're talking about thousands of really good players that she's ranked ahead of.
Fall getting ready to wrap up a little bit. What's in store for the Eagles the rest of the time?
Well, right now we're just focusing on the next tournament, and then we actually have another one after that. So we're roughly halfway through fall. We're just amazed at how quickly it's gone by, and everyone's really just enjoying each other. I think we had a meeting yesterday, talked about some things, what else we want. We've obviously accomplished a lot of our goals so far. We still have a lot of things that we want to do. So this is just kind of like the halfway mark for us. And then once break comes around, for the most part, it's just skill instruction. A lot of times we're working out a little bit more, gaining some strength. Workouts are definitely going to be harder over the interim, and then just start getting ready for the spring.
Probably going out to the golf course brings these young ladies some pride, but also the fact that when you travel, I know that it's very hard for the student athletes. They're working on their books as well, and as Coach Erickson said earlier today, the fact that they're student athletes, and I know that you're very proud of that.
Yes, yeah, they're all working hard. Some of them are in tougher classes than others. I think it's a little easier for the freshmen right now than it is the juniors and seniors, just because they're starting to be in some of their tougher classes. But it is a balance act, and fortunately in our sport, for the most part, everyone is really good at balancing their schoolwork along with their athletics, along with their health, and making good decisions and being high character individuals.
And that's, I guess, you want to win as many matches as you can in the fall, but trying to get them situated and get them used to each other and kind of forming that chemistry is important in the fall meets.
Yes, and I mean, we talk about this a lot. We're just every day we want to get better. We want to get better at a wide variety of things. We're wanting to be better people. We want to be active in the community. We want to be better students. We want to be better athletes. And you love to win, and that's fun. If we didn't like to win, we wouldn't keep score. So, that's a reality. But the flip side of that is sometimes you do your very best and you don't win. So that part in our sport is definitely out of our control until we get to the point where we can block other people's balls going into the hole. A lot of things are outside of our control.
Yeah.
So we just go about doing things that we can take care of and doing our best. And then at the end of the day, we add it all up and we hope we're better than everyone.
I forgot to write down, when is the Austin P match?
Well, we leave this Saturday, so Austin P is next week. I believe is the 15th and the 16th of October, and then we go down to Middle Tennessee the following weekend, and that's the following Monday and Tuesday.
Stephanie, always a pleasure. Thanks for taking time out
Thank
to talk to
you.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Stephanie Barker, women's golf coach here at Morehead State. That's going to do it for this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. I'd like to thank Warren Lepka, the soccer coach, Brent Erickson, the cross country and track coach, Matt Ballard, and also Stephanie. We'll come back next week and have another show for you from the Lynn Miller Room here at the AAC. For Ian Corbin, our radio producer, I'm Jason Blanton. Until next time, so long, everybody.